Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal. In this video I'm going to be painting this dresser with some latex wall paint with some plaster of Paris mixed in. I have this dresser sitting up on its side because there's a pretty big chunk missing out on the corner right here. So it's easier to get to with it being on its side, and I'm taking some wood Bondo and I am filling up that chunk. There's a few pretty bad scratches and gouges here and there, so I'm just using what's left of my wood Bondo and filling those up as well. After I cleaned it, I pulled out some of the drawers so I could start scuff sanding them. And I'm finding some socks and a pair of underwear. It's really not uncommon to find these types of things inside of dressers when I get them. I am using an 80 grit sandpaper and I'm scuff sanding the entire piece. I think this is a necessary step to make sure that you get proper adhesion with your paint. After you are done scuff sanding, make sure you clean everything really well. I like to use a water and vinegar mixture, about 50-50 ratio. So for my top, I am using an 80 grit sandpaper and an orbital sander to sand everything down to bare wood. This is pine, so it's a very soft wood. The finish came off pretty easily. There was some pretty good gouges in it, but I was able to get most of those flattened out with my orbital sander. I'm using a product for my top that I've never used before. This is Fusion Mineral Paint brand Gel Stain and Top Coat. This stuff needed a seriously good mix. Everything was settled at the bottom. So if you use this, make sure you mix it well and do not shake it because that could cause air bubbles throughout the product, and you definitely don't want air bubbles present in your finish. I added my gel stain into a disposable container. I like to save all my containers with my plastic lids, like my cottage cheese containers, my sour cream containers, because I use them all the time. I put this into my disposable container. That way, when I dip my brush inside of it, I wasn't contaminating my whole entire can with particles or anything that may have gotten onto my brush. I am just using a Blue Hawk brand paintbrush. This is my favorite paintbrush. I like this one and the Wooster brand. They are both very similar and very comparable. They both have the very short handle that is made of rubber. It's very ergonomical to use and very cost efficient. They're only like $6 or $7 a paintbrush. So I am dipping it into my container with my gel stain in it, and I'm just brushing it on, and I'm making sure I get any drip marks smoothed out that may have gone over the edge and clumped up. This product was very easy to use. It did take a long time to dry, but it is cold outside right now, and that could have made a difference with my dry time for this product. For my first time using this, I really loved it and I'm going to recommend it. This is the color called Patina. I really love the way the finish is. It seems very durable. It is very even, and it was just super easy to apply. It does smell and it is stinky, so make sure if you use it, you are using a respiratory mask or doing this outdoors. I did do 2 coats of this gel stain, and I did lightly sand in between. Cleanup for this product is with mineral spirits. So I use mineral spirits and I clean my brush and I let my brush sit in there for about an hour or so and soak up all of the mineral spirits, and it cleans up really nicely. Um, Definitely recommend this product. I think you should give it a try if you haven't yet. If you have tried it, let me know down in the comments what you think about it and what were your experiences with it. For this piece, I am using a latex wall paint. This is a mistint color I picked up at Lowe's on one of the end caps on clearance. I am using plaster Paris as an additive to give me that chalky texture and that chalky feel. I really don't use a recipe or any specific amount of plaster of Paris to paint that I use when I make my own chalk paint. I totally just eyeball everything anytime I make my own chalk paint. I do add water to my paint first before I add my plaster of Paris to help thin out my paint. And then I can kind of determine the consistency that I want. If I want it a little bit thicker, if I want it a little bit thinner. If I want it thicker, I add more plaster of Paris. If I want it thinner, I add less. So it really just kind of depends on how you want your paint thickness and texture and everything to be. If you want something more textured, add more plaster of Paris. There are a couple brands of paint that will actually start to solidify as soon as you add the plaster of Paris. And one I know for certain is Valspar Signature brand. So that one you are not able to make your own chalk paint with, unfortunately. I have these scrap pieces of wood I'm going to use for making a shelf. This came out of like a buffet thing. I don't even know. So I'm going to take these parts off. I'm going to sand all this down and clean it. And then we're going to cut it here. And then I'm going to add this one here, just so it's big enough to just slide right in there. Then, because this bottom shelf is all open, there's not like I can stick my hand right through it. So I want to make sure I have sides on my shelf so things don't fall to the side, like, you know, socks or whatever the heck it is you're going to put on a shelf. So that's the plan. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to measure everything, take these weird things off. Okay, I'm going to use this. I'm using 2 different types of Gorilla Glue. I love this brand. It's a little bit more expensive, but in my opinion, it's the best. This one like expands, so I'm going to add a little bit to the front, but a lot to the back because I don't really have any way to clamp this down. So the glue will expand and it will, you know, help adhere the wood to the wood, I guess. All right. So I'm just adding it back there. You can't really see me doing it. Put a little bit here, because it will expand and it'll like come out the edges and everything. So I don't want like a ton. All right. Put this on. All right, I want everything kind of like flush as much as possible to the front. All right, we got a shelf. Finally finished. And that's it, you guys. I hope you like my super easy, simple dresser furniture makeover. Let me know down in the comments. Please remember to like and subscribe. And I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.